and welcome back to my channel. We have officially entered May, which means that probably some of you who are watching this video right now have already enrolled in your Japanese language schools, and maybe some of you are preparing for the October entries or preparing for going to language school next year or sometime in the future. Now, for some of you out there, you might have asked yourself the question, am I too old to go to language school? And today I'm here to give you the answer to that question. So I actually got the idea for this video a couple of weeks ago when I got a message on Instagram from a guy who has been watching my YouTube videos, and he asked me he told me something about his situation and his age, and he said that I'm kind of worried that I am too old to go to language school. This is a feeling that I personally also have experienced, not going to language school, but going to a Japanese university where I'm currently at right now. And I really feel passionate about this topic, so today I want to talk about, and at the end of the video, answer the question, are you too old to go to language school? Let's start. So let's start to talk about the students who go to Japanese language schools. It might be a little different depending on the language school, but as far as I have seen and in my experience, the average age of language school students is somewhere around 25 to 28, and I was actually 20 years old going on 21 when I entered my language school, and I was one of the youngest students at my school. I remember I knew one girl that was 1 year younger than me, and then there were a couple of other students who were my age, but the majority of the students were a couple of years older than I was. Some students were already in their 30s, and we even had some students who were in their mid-30s as well. Now, and this is the most important point that I want to make in this video, everyone who goes to a language school is on their own journey and they're doing things on their own timeline. For me, when I enrolled in language school, I came almost fresh out of high school. I had worked 1 year after graduating from high school just to save money, but then I enrolled after that. So I had almost no work experience, and I didn't have any degrees or I hadn't studied at all after high school. So I came very freshly graduated from high school and went straight into language school. When I enrolled in my language school, I came to Japan with the intention of going to university after I finished my 2 years of the language school program, but I didn't really know exactly what I wanted to study, and I thought that, well, while I'm in Japan, I will kind of see what options I have, I will think more about what it is I actually want to do in the future, and I will decide when I'm in Japan. So as you can hear, I wasn't very far along on my life journey. I was still pretty fresh, pretty young, pretty, what's the word? Well, whatever. When you enroll in a language school and you see students who are in their early 20s or maybe haven't even turned 20 yet, this will most likely be the case for those students. They haven't had any work experience or a lot of work experience and do not have a degree, and after finishing their language school program, if they want to still stay in Japan, they have to continue to study either in a vocational school or a university. If you are a couple of years older, you probably already have a degree or work experience within the field that you want to work in Japan as well, which means that you're already ahead of the younger students when it comes to experience and what you can do when you graduate from your language school. To get eligible for a work visa in Japan, you need to have either a bachelor's degree, some kind of degree, or 5 to 10 years of work experience in the specific field that you want to work in here in Japan. So if you already have that, and if you do, it probably means that you are already in your mid to late 20s or early 30s. You are already ahead and you're set to start working in Japan when you finish your language school program, which means that, I think, like I already said, you are already ahead of the younger students who have yet to start their education or life, basically. And that is something that I actually kind of envy, and I definitely envied that when I was still in language school, that for the people who already had the degree and maybe also work experience, they could just find a job right after finishing language school, and that was something that I also wanted to do. But of course I knew that I had to get my bachelor's degree first. So after finishing language school, I knew I had 4 more years of education before I could start getting into working in Japan. And of course, I really enjoy going to a Japanese university, and it's a great experience and I'm learning a lot of things. But one part of me also just wanted to be done with all of that so that when I graduated from my language school, I could just go into the Japanese society as a working person. What I'm trying to say here is that even if you're older than the average age of students who normally enroll in language schools, you are not too old and you are not behind. Japanese companies will value your education and value your work experience, and that will be a really good tool for you to have. It's kind of like your weapon to have when you apply for Japanese companies. Some companies who are actively searching for foreign workers might even be extra happy that you have all of that, both the education and work experience in your own country, and not like me who are getting my education in Japan, because that means that you're coming with a different perspective. You have learned things from a different set of eyes from a different culture, and you're coming with this foreign mindset into Japan. Some companies, I assume, are looking for those kind of people as well. And that is also going to be your weapon, your strong point when applying for jobs in Japan. Now, for me, I never felt old in my language school. It was the opposite. I really felt like one of the youngest, and I did enjoy the feeling of being young, but I also thought a lot about how much I would have to do after I graduated from language school before I could start working in Japan. But the age pressure that I have felt in Japan started around 2 years ago, which is when I enrolled in my university. Because as maybe some of you know, Japanese people have this pretty set timeline of when to do things. In Sweden, most students do not go to university right after they graduate from high school, but they go traveling, working, doing other things for maybe a couple of years, and they then come back when they know what they want to study and then enroll in university. But in Japan, as I believe in a lot of other Asian countries, it's pretty much expected of you to go to university or a vocational school right after you finish, you graduate from high school, which means that more or less all the students in the same year in university are the same age. That's very different from Sweden, where people are of all ages in university. So according to the Japanese timeline, I am 4 years behind, which means that basically all of my classmates in my class in my year in university are 4 years younger than me. Now, as for how old the students and people perceive me, that's not really an issue because I am short and I know I look very young, so people just assume that I am around the same age as them. But I still feel the pressure sometimes of being too old, and what I'm the most worried about is when I graduate from university and I start looking for a job and they look at my CV, my resume, and they see, oh, why are you so much older than all the other students who are now coming to our company to look for a job? What did you do in all of that time? Worrying about age has never been a problem for me until I enrolled in my Japanese university and I was all of a sudden a lot older than all of my peers. And this has actually created quite a lot of stress for me. I have had to remind myself a lot of times that I am not too old to be where I am right now, according to my own timeline of my own life, going to Kumamoto for my high school exchange, working for a year to save money after high school, going to language school for 2 years. All of that has been according to my life timeline. I am not behind. I am completely on track. And I've had to remind myself of that a lot of times. I am on track. I'm not behind. And so this is my encouragement for you in this video. I just want to let you know that you are not behind. You are not too old. You are perfectly on your own life timeline, and the best time to go is now. This is turning into a motivational speech video, but hey, I hope you feel motivated and calmed by all of this. You are not too old to go to language school. Also, one thing that I want to add before ending this video is that even though people were in my language school who were of all different ages, everyone got along and hung out with each other. And I had friends who were 5 years older than me, 7 years older than me, even 10 years older than me. And I had so much fun with them. I made really good friends, and we didn't really think about our age differences. We just hung out. We all were in the same place of experiencing Japan, learning the language. Most people learning the language for the first time, experience the country for the first time. And so age wasn't really something we cared about. So that is also one thing I want to tell you and reassure you before ending this video, is that even though you're older and you might think, if all the other people are younger than me, will they accept me? Am I too old to be friends with them? No, you're not. Everyone just hung out with everyone and no one cared about age. This is a topic that has been on my mind and on my heart for quite a long time, and I really felt compelled to make this video. I hope this was of encouragement to some of you out there who are maybe already in your language school and are feeling a little old or a little behind, or for some of you who are starting a language school and are having these thoughts. You're not too old. Just go for it. You will have a great time. I hope you're all doing well. I have a lot of things going on right now. My 3rd year of university spring semester has started. We just finished Golden Week, and I have some exciting things coming up this spring and summer, which I will share more about later. But yeah, I hope you're doing well. Please leave a comment in the comment section either about this topic, your thoughts, or just say hello. I would love to chat with you in the comments or on Instagram. And I will see you in my next video. Bye!